I got 4 movies to review for you, and they're all Oscar nominated. So, let's just get right down to business. The first one is F1. Honestly, I don't know how this film snuck into the Best Picture category of the Oscars. It seemed like a regular sports movie, unless the script writers really thought they could do something unpredictable and didn't. There was no payoff. The sport was car racing. Brad Pitt was the only real star in it, and he's typically a very good actor, but it seemed like he was just calling it in this performance. I started the movie knowing nothing about car racing, and I finished the movie knowing nothing about car racing. It was a very big movie, so that could be part of it. But it could have been condensed from 2.5 hours to like 1 hour. It just seemed like it didn't belong amongst the nominees. And I'm confused about why the Academy nominated it to begin with. Coming in at number 7 is Marty Supreme. This movie, to me, tossed too much back and forth without a backstory. The movie forced the audience to know what was going on right away in a very complex situation. It wasn't until there was 45 minutes left that it got somewhat exciting. It is based on a true story, and the acting was very good, but it left me unsatisfied. However, the music and cinematography was very well done, and I understand why it was nominated, but I definitely don't think it was the best picture of the year. Coming in number 6, Sinners. This I know I'm going to get some heat for, because this was a very popular movie. But this film broke the cardinal rule of filmmaking, in my eyes. Stick to the reality you started with. If there are vampires in the movie, I'm okay with it. If there's ghosts in the movie, I'm okay with it. But don't change the type of movie it is right at the end. That destroys it for me. It really does. The acting, however, was extremely well done, with Michael B. Jordan playing the Smokestack Twins, both of them, in 1913 Mississippi. They were 2 twins buying a saloon and all the things that came with that. The side characters were also very good. At first, when it started, I thought it had potential to be number 1, but it just let me down as time went on. And then right at the end, it just didn't do it for me. Coming in at number 5, Train Dreams. This was a beautiful and soothing movie, but didn't have enough story or opportunity to act that it felt short. It was beautiful and from the outside comes off as a beautiful story. But the main characters, who could be great actors, barely had material to show off their talent. The story goes through the entire life of a man, but there's so few lines that they needed a narrator to explain the timeline. It has some intense emotional moments, but before that fell short to me. I really wish they did more with it. Coming in at number 4, Hamlin. I had a very difficult time deciding where to put this film in relation to Train Dreams. I was stuck trying to decide which one I would rank above the other, but Hamlin, by an inch, won out. The issues I had with this movie was that there was no real story until there was 45 minutes left, and 15 of those minutes were a dialogue written by somebody not involved in the making of this film. However, there were more characters who I genuinely cared about. Again, the cinematography and landscape were gorgeous. One small issue I had was the female lead seemed to never change outfits amongst the long stretch of years that the movie took place. I would suggest watching it, but I wouldn't recommend it for Best Picture. Coming in at number 3, Begonia. This movie, as I said previously, annoyed me at first, and I didn't know why it was nominated for such a prestigious Oscar. Other than good acting, I thought the storyline was silly. Then I slept on it, and my opinion slowly started to change. And I started to understand why the movie was so good. It started off having you think one thing, but then question it, but then question why you're questioning it, with amazing characters, amazing acting, and amazing talent. For most of the movie, I was on the edge of my seat. Again, good cinematography, but it wasn't needed for a relatively small movie. This will surprise you if you watch my previous video. Coming in at number 2, Sentimental Value, getting kicked off the number 1 spot. I really enjoyed this movie. It's a very small movie, but at times expands out. You should know that most of it is in Norwegian, so if subtitles is not for you, take a pass. It's really about the relationship between a father and 2 daughters. However, it's so much more than that. Issues brought up are narcissism, depression, and a variety of mental health problems. I really felt for the characters, who were acted amazingly. Where it started and where it ended were irrelevant. It would probably not be everyone's cup of tea, but it definitely was mine. And coming in at number 1, which I would give the Oscar for Best Picture to, although I still have 2 to go, is One Battle After Another. This movie had everything. One thing the Academy adores more than anything is a completely original story, but only if it's a good story. Well, this is a great story that kept me on the edge of my seat at all moments. On top of that, it was easy to follow, but complex at the same time. The cinematography was amazing, coupled by two amazing actors. Leonardo DiCaprio is one of my favorite actors who, again, showed what he has in the performance realm. However, Sean Penn's performance was one of a lifetime. It was a big movie and small movie at the same time, dealing with relationships and bigger conflicts. And you didn't know what was going to happen until the very end. This movie really had everything. I don't know what can bump it off, but I'll be really surprised if it gets bumped off. But I still have two more movies to go. Those two movies are, let me check, Frankenstein and The Secret Agent. So I'm open-minded, because I really thought last time Sentimental Values, nothing could boot that off. However, I was wrong. And I really think the Academy and what I like personally all fit into one battle after another. So we'll see. But other than that, I hope you're all having a great day. Bye.